Welcome back to Novi Soul. We're back with another exciting story for you today. Anna sat at a small table by the window of the cafe, the soft hum of conversation and the aroma of freshly brewed coffee filling the air. Her cup of coffee sat in front of her, forgotten for a moment as she absently flipped through the pages of the book in her hand. The warm light of the cafe reflected off the polished wooden tables, but her focus was elsewhere, quiet, contained, as if she were lost in another world. It had been a while since she had come here, a place she used to frequent, where memories lingered in the spaces between the conversations. She had moved on, though, or at least that's what she liked to tell herself. As she took another sip from her coffee, the door to the cafe opened. A man entered, his presence slightly offbeat in the quiet atmosphere. Anna didn't notice him at first, but as she turned the page of her book, her eyes met his. Ethan. The sight of him, unexpected, unannounced, pulled something deep inside her. She froze for a moment, then quickly turned her gaze back to the book in front of her, pretending she hadn't noticed. But she could feel the years of silence, the weight of unspoken words between them. Ethan hesitated. He knew this was a bad idea, but something drew him to her, something he couldn't ignore. Slowly, cautiously, he made his way toward her,
Hey,
his voice quiet but unsure.
it's been a long time, huh?
Anna didn't respond immediately. She simply nodded, acknowledging the years that had passed, the time that had slipped away unnoticed. She tried not to look into his eyes, not to give him the satisfaction of seeing the hurt she had buried so long ago. She could feel his gaze on her, waiting for something.
Yeah, sure.
She finally said, her voice steady but cold. She didn't want to make this easy for him, didn't want to make it feel like the past had been erased, or that they could pick up where they had left off. The silence between them grew thick, and after a moment, the waiter came over, breaking the tension.
What can I get for you?
The waiter asked Ethan.
I'll have a chai latte.
Ethan said, his voice still a bit hesitant, as though unsure whether he should be here at all. Anna raised an eyebrow at him.
Chai latte? Since when do you drink that?
Ethan gave a small shrug, a faint smile playing at his lips.
Life happened.
He said softly, but the words felt like more of an excuse than an explanation. Anna's lips twitched, but her expression remained guarded.
I guess so.
She replied, her eyes not quite meeting his, a quiet sadness flickering in them. She wondered how it had all come to this, how they had gone from everything to nothing. The waiter left, and they sat in silence, the air between them thick with all the things they never said. Ethan's gaze lingered on her, the years apart suddenly feeling like a lifetime. The memories, the moments they had shared all rushed back to him. It didn't take long for them both to drift into the past, into the memories they had buried long ago. The first time they had met had been entirely by accident. It had been a chilly afternoon, and they both happened to be standing outside the train station, waiting for a ride. A small coffee cart had been parked on the side of the road, and Anna had decided to grab a quick drink. She had ordered her usual chai latte, sweet and warm. Ethan, on the other hand, had ordered his black coffee, bitter and strong. But when the drinks arrived, the server had mixed them up. Anna had taken a sip from the cup in front of her, only to spit it out immediately.
Oh my god, this is disgusting. Who drinks this bitter stuff?
She had yelled, the surprise of the taste too much to handle. Ethan, on the other hand, had tasted the chai latte and scrunched his face in distaste.
Who drinks this sweet stuff?
He had muttered under his breath, turning to find the person responsible for the drink mix-up. Their eyes had met then, two strangers, both frustrated by the wrong drinks, but also strangely amused by the situation. That's when their story had begun. The kind of connection that felt effortless at first, as if fate had something to do with it. After that, they had kept running into each other at the same coffee cart, until eventually They started meeting there on purpose. Conversations had flowed easily, laughter had come naturally, and over time, they had found themselves wrapped up in something neither of them had expected. A relationship. But something had happened. Life had gotten in the way. A distance had grown between them, and neither of them could put their finger on exactly what had caused it. Maybe it was the way they had drifted apart when they needed each other the most, or how they had tried to force something that just wasn't meant to be. One argument, one moment of failure, and everything had unraveled. Neither of them had wanted it to end, but the cracks had already started to form. And in the end, they had both walked away, hearts heavy but broken in different ways. Their paths had diverged after that. They had gone separate ways, never speaking again, never reaching out, never even trying to make sense of what had happened. Until today. Now, here they were again, in the same cafe, 4 years later. Ethan took a deep breath and looked at Anna, his gaze soft and searching, full of things he couldn't say.
I didn't expect to see you again.
He murmured. Anna didn't look at him.
I didn't either.
She said quietly. They sat there for a while, lost in their thoughts. They didn't speak. They didn't need to. Everything they had once been was still there in the silence between them, lingering like an unspoken promise that neither of them could fulfill. There was love in their eyes, an undeniable pull that neither of them could escape. But they both knew, deep down, that it was a love that couldn't be rekindled. It was a love that had run its course, had burned too brightly and too fast, and now it was a thing of the past. The door of the cafe opened again, and the noise of the world outside seeped in, pulling Anna back into the present. She glanced at Ethan once more, her gaze lingering for a moment before she gathered her things. Without a word, she stood up, the chair scraping softly against the floor. Ethan watched her, the weight of everything unsaid pressing down on him. She didn't look back as she walked toward the door. She didn't need to. And as the door closed behind her, Ethan sat in the quiet aftermath of their encounter, the emptiness of the cafe echoing the emptiness in his chest. Some loves, some memories, are meant to stay in the past, tucked away in the corners of our hearts, never to be relieved. And as Ethan sat there, staring at the spot where Anna had just been, he knew that was where their story belonged. Gone, but never forgotten. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and share your thoughts. And of course, make sure to subscribe to our channel for more amazing content.